So hello, Che Axum here. I'm the Director of Urban Ag and Gardening Education. Today we're going to do the second workshop of the biointensive method of growing. But it's just about, this workshop is about getting started and how to grow a sustainable diet. So today we're going to be talking about site, tools to use, and something that most people really don't think about, planning how much to grow. The first step in turning your backyard into a productive, sustainable garden is to think about the beds, their placements, the size, and the arrangement. Sun and shade. Food and compost crops grow best with as much sun as possible. 11 hours of full sunlight is best, but many plants will grow well with 7 hours or less. Some plants like lettuce can manage with few as 4 hours of full sunlight. But the best location for the garden bed is in full sun. Remember that winter sun does not reach as many corners of the garden as summer sun, and winter compost crops need all the sun they can get. This is the diagram of just kind of doing a diagram in your yard, just looking at the shady spots as opposed to the sun-filled spots and doing a diagram. It's never good to guess at it. The size and shapes of your bed will depend to some extent on the size of your backyard. The beds can be circles, ovals, squares, triangles, rectangles, or regular shapes. But there are a few points to keep in mind. A bed should at least be 3 by 3 feet for food production. This size allows the plant to establish a significant microclimate just above the soil and allows a significant area of the root and microorganisms below the soil level to develop. Good condition is both of these areas will encourage the healthy growth of plants. Since you should not walk on a bed, never, after it has been prepared, there are some tools that you can use to aerate the soil and make plant growing more effective. The width of the bed should allow you to reach the middle of the bed from each side. Up to 5 feet is manageable for most people. The beds can be as long as you want them to be, but you will need to remember you need to walk around it to get to the other side if they're too long. Paths and layout and garden layouts. Several other beds in a square garden arrangement rather than a rectangle help to conserve moisture and maintain a thriving ecosystem. Beds in long, narrow arrangements dry out much more quickly than those in the wider ones. When you have decided how to arrange your bed, use stakes and string to make sure that your beds and paths are aligned properly. Once you have created the layout, continue to use that plan as you dig and fertilize your beds year after year. Your soil will continue to improve its nutrients and organic matter levels are replenished and maintained. Changing the location of your paths from year to year will slow down the process. Some gardeners like to use retaining boards for their beds, but boards are not necessary. They do not make a garden look tidy sometimes, but they do add to the cost of setting up the garden. Some of the most proper tools that will be used in gardening are the D-handle spade and fork. These are my two favorite tools. The D-handle spade and fork. The D-handle tools are easy to dig with. When properly used, they will enable you to center your energy and exert the most leverage with the least amount of effort. However, long-handled tools without D-handles may be better if your back is not strong. Weeding implements. These are some of my favorite weeding implements. They're called the stirrup hoe, and there are some names for them, but they're very efficient in getting around plants and in beds with a long handle, and they're easily sharpened with a file to keep them sharp and make them more effective. Some other tools that you can use: cultivator, hoe, and sickle. Now the sickle is for if you're growing the calorie crops. If you're growing crops like amaranth, wheat, barley, any kind of crop like that, you'll need a sickle to harvest those crops with. Two other very valuable tools are the machete and the soil knife. A mattock is another very valuable garden tool. The TRAKE and the COBRAHEAD are cultivating tools and digging tools for weeding and also digging and putting in seedlings. One of my favorites is the U-bark or BROADFORK. Once you make your bed, you can use this before the garden season arrives the next time to really loosen up and aerate the soil. Just be sure to use a digging board to stand on so you won't be standing on your bed and compacting the soil when you're using this. Many people don't think about this, but certain watering implements that you use in the garden can put pressure on soil and compact it somewhat. These rain head devices let out tiny droplets of water and do not really compact the soil that much when watered, as long as you don't hold them down close to the plants. If you just use it above and wave it back and forth, they're very effective in watering.